All righty, we are live, guys. So, truth be told, I really don't have a super crazy agenda for us tonight. I would like to share some thoughts with you guys, just something I've been thinking about as it pertains to dividend investing. These last couple days, just something I've been thinking about. I'll quickly touch on later in the live stream, but other than that, I figured we would just, I don't know, kind of have more of a chill live stream, do some Q&A, do some hanging out. And I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot to talk about, a lot going on in the live chat. So I figured we would just have some fun tonight and keep it low key. And I also let me actually hold on, bear with me, guys. I don't know if you guys saw the community post I put out a couple days ago. If you did, then probably know what I'm about to pull up. If you didn't, I put out a community post on YouTube, on my YouTube channel on, I think, Wednesday. Maybe this was even yesterday. I don't remember. Basically saying with a picture, and it basically said, if I hit 30,000 subscribers by this live stream, I'll do a shot of tequila on the stream. And I am proud to share that we officially hit it. We hit 30,000 subscribers on the channel, guys. And so I owe you guys a shot. And we'll take that in just a moment. Now we'll get to that momentarily. And kind of while we're on the subject, thank you guys so much for all the support. It's cliche to say, but it really wouldn't be possible without all you guys out there continuing to tune in, continuing to watch, and most importantly, continuing to come out here or to come on here, spend your Friday nights with me just talking about dividend stocks. So, I have to pinch myself sometimes that I'm even still doing this rather. And it's a cool little milestone. And so we'll take a celebratory shot in a moment. And I actually have 2 shots poured because someone special is going to be joining us for the shot. But before we get to that, guys, I want to hear from you. Number one, a couple things. Number one, what are you sipping tonight? What are you bringing to the dividend hour? And also, which of you guys, who out there is going to be taking a shot with me? I'll show you. I got my shot ready right here, ready to go. So who's going to be taking a shot with me in a moment? And if you're not, what are you sipping on for the happy hour? And also, number 2, what stocks did you buy this week? Let me know here in the live chat what you picked up, what you added to your portfolio. I'd be curious to hear. It was just such an interesting week, as I guess they all are. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you guys added to your portfolio, but what you bought at a discount, because there's a decent amount of them out there right now. And while you guys are submitting that there in the live chat, I just want to go through real quick and say what's up to everyone here. We got Pat. We've got Luis, who actually said, dude, this being 52, this is a 50-second dividend happy hour. Is this the 1-year anniversary? And it's not. We actually missed the 1-year anniversary. So I actually went back and looked at it because I saw your comment before the stream started. The first ever dividend happy hour was May 18th of last year. It's just so crazy. I mean, a year's really not a long period of time, but Luis, it made me think, man, like, gosh, it's not a long period of time, but at the same time, so much can happen in a year. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. So anyway, Luis is obviously here. Pat's here. We got Sir Dude Bro Man, who is joining us for the first time. So welcome. I'm glad to see you on the Dividend Happy Hour. We got Shamir in the building as per usual. We have Adon. Maison Rolex, good to see you. Mr. Zack Attack in the flesh, greetings from Montana. Good for you, ma'am. Good to see you. Melanie's here, says, what's up, Dividend fam? We've got TCAF. My man Zal is in the building. The one and only G-Man, the original G-Man, the OG G-Man. We got Will Ritchie in the building. We've got Oscar. We've got Chris. We've got Norman, my man Norman, my main man Norm. Jack Murphy's in the building as well. Ricardo, Lamb. Who else we got? Paulo's here. We got Dan, the auditor. We've got, okay, this was from Uzbekistan. Okay, let me try this one out. Tolkinjan Kazakov. Hopefully I got that right. Good to see you, my friend. Gorilla's here. Mitty is joining us as well. We got Christian J. We got Benny. Benny and the Jets. We got Noah. Sorry, guys. We got Simao. Fast Eddie's here. Alexander. Who else we got? Did I already say Emmanuel? If not, what's up, Emmanuel? We got good tunes. How many shots till you get to 1 million? Man, I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out. But I do think this will be like a little tradition we're gonna start here on the channel. Anytime we hit a milestone, for now it's gonna be like every 10,000. We'll do something like this. So anyway, let's see here. We got Roland Espinoza first live. Good to see you here. Glad you made it to the Dividend Happy Hour. Thanks for joining. We got Steve in the building. We've got Coyote Sunglasses. What's going on? We got Sean. Caleb, who is sipping on a Sierra Nevada. Good stuff. And bought some Lowe's, Home Depot, and Amgen. Nice. And I'm taking a look at the rest of these purchases here. So, and Chris is going to be partaking in a shot. He actually sent me what he was sipping on. Some sort of whiskey, right? It looked pretty good. Sean's drinking a Diet Mountain Dew. Love Diet Mountain Dew. Well, just Mountain Dew in general. Esval and Jeppy, very nice. Fast Eddie picked up some Palantir. He's drinking some DP. AJ's got to keep it clean, so he's sipping on a bubbly. Kevin here is staying very hydrated with his water. And thank you, Kevin. Congrats on 30K. I appreciate that. Shamir picked up some TD, BNS, and CM. I think all Canadian banks, right? Alex sipping on some high-quality H2O and bought some Starbucks. Nice. Very nice. Sir Dude Man, water and dinner and some NEP. TCAF said no pickups this week. Gotcha. Jeff here says, yo, what's up? About to leave work. I'll say this now because I know it's coming. Bought 10 shares of SCHD, yes. And I also told Jeff, I think what we were messaging on, was it on Patreon or was it on YouTube? Jeff said he would take a shot with me in the after party. So Jeff, I will be joining you for the second shot in the after party, which, by the way, guys, the after party is a bonus live stream that starts immediately after this Dividend Happy Hour ends. So every week we do the Dividend Happy Hour for an hour, and then immediately after we jump over to the after party. And on the after party tonight, actually, we're going to be reviewing Lucas, who is here. Lucas, we're going to be reviewing his portfolio, taking a look at it. He wants me to rip it to shreds. He even told me in his note, like, feel free to swear, like, don't hold back, just give it to me straight, which I'm not going to do that to you, Lucas. But we're going to be taking a look at his portfolio. I'll show you guys what happened in my portfolio this week, and then I'll also tell you about Peanut's portfolio, which is a Patreon exclusive portfolio that we have for, I don't know where he is. He might be down on the strip, for my cat Peanut. So anyway, it's a lot of fun over the after party, and you guys can check that out if you want. Here's the link, patreon.com/retirewithryan. It's free to join, at least for the first 7 days. There's a free 7-day trial, so you can tune in tonight, join us for the after party, and decide to stick around next week if you want. Or if you don't have to. But anyway, no harm, no foul. And you can also find the link in the description of this video. It's the top one right there, so super easy to join. I'd love to see you guys all over there on the after party. But what else we got here? And we'll take this shot in just a moment, guys. I promise. I just want to get through a couple more of these. Benny added some Johnson & Johnson. Let's see. Luis just drinking some water. Too hot here in Guadalajara today. I'll grab a cold one as soon as I'm done with work. And that actually reminds me, speaking of Mexico. So, guys, next week we will not be doing a Dividend Happy Hour. I'm actually going to Mexico on vacation next week. And this kind of segues into what I actually really wanted to talk about. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. But just so you guys know, next week there's going to be no Dividend Happy Hour. I'll be out of town. I will still be putting out a newsletter for those of you who are on the email list. If you're not, you can go to just retirewithryan.com. I think there's a link to it. Maybe there's not a link to it in the description. But if you just go to... Hold on, let me just show you. Go back over to the screen. This is my website, retirewithryan.com. You can just sign up, get the newsletter for free sent to your inbox. It usually goes out on Thursdays. Sometimes it goes out on Fridays, but that's a lot of fun as well. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. And what do you think, guys? Should we do the thing? Hold on, let me call in my assistant. You guys are about to meet my fiance, Kayla. Hold on, I'm just texting her. Come in here. I got a shot poured for her as well, so she wanted to say what's up to you guys and and take this shot with me. So got one for me. There she is. One for me. Say hi, Toots.
Hi.
and one for her. You guys, anything while she's here too, if there's any questions you got for her, anything you want to say, yeah, come on down. So before we take the shot, guys, once again, thank you all so much for all of the support. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for all the support. Really appreciate all of you guys. And cheers. Here's to you guys.
Cheers. Tap it down.
Oh, tap it? Okay.
Tap it down.
All right. It's good. That wasn't too bad. Let's see. Zal says, "What's up, Kayla?"
What's up?
Nice. Hey, Mrs. Sunshine from Shamir. Paolo says, "Nice to meet you."
Aw, nice to meet you guys.
Who else we got? Oh, looks like there's a handful of comments. Luis says, "Congrats on marrying this stud."
Aw.
Let's see.
He is a stud.
Oh gosh. Chris says, "Ryan marrying way over his head, I see." Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I actually, I slid in his DMs.
Yeah.
So I definitely made the first move on him.
Yeah. So, let's see. That's still kind of like burning my throat a little bit. She's the boss, man. Took the shot like a pro. Yep. Let's see. What a first live stream. Charles, oh my gosh. Why him?
Oh.
Wow. What's Kayla's favorite dividend stock?
I'm going to go with Coca-Cola.
Oh. Any particular reason?
I get a dividend from it every month, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And I love Coke Zero.
We consume a lot of Coca-Cola in this house. You want to sit down?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I'll come back for another one.
Coyote says she is real.
I'm real. I promise.
Paolo, gonna have invite. Oh, we're gonna have to invite everyone to the wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. That's winning. Huh.
Oh.
Nice. A lot of good stuff.
Okay. Bye, guys.
All right,
nice
guys.
meeting everyone.
Bye, Toots. I'll see you in a little bit. So anyway, sorry guys, I'm just now catching up in the comments. Dan says, "I got a classy lady there. Tell her Coke doesn't pay a monthly dividend." Yeah. Lamb says $30,000 or not dollar 30,000 person wedding list. One of these days, maybe we'll bring her back on and we'll do a full live stream together. That'd be fun. But anyway, guys, so yeah, like I was saying before the shot, before all that, next week, no dividend happy hour. I'll be gone in Mexico. And, this ties into really what I wanted to briefly touch on tonight. We don't have to spend too much time with it because it's really an obvious thing. In going on this trip, I was thinking about this too because Russ is currently in Ireland. He's on his vacation right now. And so I was just thinking that, dividend investing is so cool. I was just looking at, let me go over to the screen again. I was looking at this. This is the payout calendar on the dividendtracker.com. And I was looking at this, just seeing, well, okay, what's next week looking like? What payments am I going to get? And I'm going to be gone all this time. And so it was just really, I don't know, kind of a cool thought. I don't really know what made me think of it, but I thought this entire week I'm going to be gone. I'm not going to be working. I'm not going to be really doing anything besides eating quesadillas and sipping margaritas. Hey, Peanut, stop it. And nonetheless, still, even though this isn't a large amount of money, I'll still be getting $62 for the week. I don't have to clock in. I don't have to show up. I don't have to answer the phone. I don't have to do anything. And those dividends will still continue to come in. And so he's going to be a problem. Hold on. What are you doing? Anyway, don't have to clock in, don't have to do anything. And I was thinking about Russ because he's on his trip too, and he's be getting much larger dividends than I will. And, he and his family can be out in Ireland, having a pint, going sightseeing, picking 4-leaf clovers in Ireland, and he'll still be getting those dividend paychecks. And I don't know, I was just reminded why, one of the big reasons why I love this style of investing, our success with it, that we're able to accumulate is we're not confined to a traditional job. We're not bound by any geographic constraints or time, really. Like I said, we don't have to clock in. We don't have to do anything. And that allows us to go out there into the world, seize opportunities, and see the world and have fun and pursue other things. All while our stocks, our investments continue to pay those dividends, and it's just nice to be able to do that and still have income coming in. It really is, when you get to the root of it, and this is what I was thinking about, it really is the ultimate freedom. It's the, in my opinion, it's like the epitome of being financially independent. And furthermore, having a dividend portfolio, you guys have probably heard me say this before, but having a dividend portfolio is the closest thing you could get to actually planting a money tree. Your portfolio start off small, they start out nothing. And Steve says, I know Russ has a real job. I know Russ has a real job. That's beside the point. But let me hide those. But I lost my train of thought now. Where was I? But anyway, I just thought that was really cool. Dividends are the closest thing you could have to actually planting a money tree. And they all start small. All our portfolios start from scratch, but over time you continue to feed it. And I guess that's, where the job comes in. But even so, even if you're not fully retired and living off dividends, you're still getting those payments along the way. And I was just looking in my own portfolio, coming off of a really good month of dividend income for me. I don't know if you guys saw my portfolio update video, but I brought in just a few bucks shy of $200. And like I said, it's not going to be money that you retire and stop working completely from. But man, that can pay for some serious bills. I know for me personally, now it's like, okay, gas, utilities, electricity, probably in addition to those things, probably 2 weeks of groceries paid for right there, or like what would be probably 25% of my rent. It's just cool to know that even along the way, the growth is tangible, the growth is measurable, and it's cool to see that going up over time. And if we go actually kind of exactly to that point, going over to my spreadsheet, let me go back on the screen. Scrolling down, these are my monthly dividend income. This was my last month right here, and compared to May 2022, still 166 bucks, really not bad. That's still a decent chunk of change. And going back in a year before that, $112, and even 1 year before that, if we have some. Okay, 3 years ago, $6.84. From that to almost $200. That's just such a crazy jump. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because it's a super obvious thing, I know. But I was just thinking about that these last couple of days, and it just reminded me why I do this. And you'll hear people talk about it's not the most efficient way to invest. It's a forced tax. What do they call it? A forced tax situation. There's a term they use for it. A forced taxable event is what they call it. Something like that. There's all these things that those are probably true. Those are true. You have to pay tax on your dividends, this, that, and the other. But I don't know. It's just so cool to know that you have that income coming in without having to lift a finger. And especially in our recent experience, that still holds true even when the market's not going in the right direction. So, dividend investing really is my favorite thing. It's my favorite way to invest. And I don't ever see that changing. I had someone ask me a couple days ago in the comments, did you ever have growth stocks? Would you ever have growth stocks? And yeah, I used to back in the day. And I'm not kind of, Lucas, just looking at your portfolio earlier, you've got a couple growth stocks in your portfolio. And I was looking at a couple of those thinking, gosh, no offense. I was just thinking, gosh, I'm just glad that that's not like my entire portfolio, those kind of stocks, because I probably would feel a lot more anxious about the stuff that I was investing in, if that makes sense. So, but with that, guys, that's pretty much my rant. We can get into the Q&A now, but I do want to ask you guys, what is your favorite thing about dividend investing? That's one quick one that I have, but what's your guys' favorite thing? Why do you do this? What exactly draws you to dividend investing? I want to hear from you guys in the live chat there. We're reading through the comments right now. And then after this, guys, we'll get into the Q&A for sure. Maison says, who is Russ? Russ is over on the Dapper Dividends channel. Yeah, thanks, Al. I see you. Yeah, Whole Billy Ranch says, Ryan, that's just a glimpse of what retirement will look like. Yeah, and I've got to say, in a sense, in a sense, just being able to do YouTube full time. I mean, it is a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, but it also does kind of feel like being. I don't know if semi-retired is the right word, but that's the closest thing that I can think of right now. Um, yeah, it's a really cool thing, and I'm a huge proponent for anyone starting to do something like this because you could easily make a couple. You could easily at least make a couple extra $100 doing something like this. And if it's not YouTube, you could always do like a newsletter, an email newsletter, which is much less time consuming and also just as effective. Here's the perfect thing, actually. Sorry, I might go off on another little tangent here. If anyone's ever thought about doing something like this, but has thought, YouTube, it's too much work. I don't want to put all that time into it. Sounds cool, be nice, but I just don't care to do all that. A happy medium would be to this is the exact thing you should do. Just start on Twitter and just start posting tweets. Build up a following on Twitter. Use Twitter to build an email list, okay? And then through that email list, you send out a weekly newsletter or a newsletter however frequently you want to, and it's super simple stuff. If you guys read my newsletter, I'm basically just some thoughts for the week. There's some sort of set topic. Not unlike a YouTube video, you could share what's going on in your portfolio. You can share some links to other videos or podcasts or other types of content that you consumed. And then you can also do some like Q&A stuff. If people send you questions or stuff like that, you could answer them in the newsletter. I mean, and that can grow and also be, I don't want to call it passive income because it is work, but it's, I don't know. You never know what those things can grow into. And in a sense, it kind of does feel a little bit like, it's somewhere between active income and passive income, I will say, because once a video's out there, once a newsletter's out there, it can actually keep working for you, and it can generate revenue for you in that regard. And sometimes with YouTube videos, they have some of them, depending on the video, can have a pretty decent shelf life. So it can continue to pay dividends for months or sometimes even years after you post it. So let's see. Let's keep going here. I want to see, okay, so we're going to, I want to go through the questions about your guys' responses to favorite thing about dividend investing. Benny says the constant cash flow. Love it. Sir Dude Bro Man says, only thing better than dividend paying stocks, dividend growth stocks that also grow in value. Yeah, you kind of get the best of both worlds. Luis is also a fan of that cash flow. G-Man, same thing. Alex says creating wealth for my daughter. That's a great thing too. Dividend stocks can be multi-generational. That dividend snowball continues to roll long after we're gone. Jay Lee says, I feel like it ties me into company ownership. That's true. It does make you feel, it does give you a sense of ownership, holding shares of the companies in your portfolio. And it's even better if they're ones that you frequent, like Starbucks in my case, or, all the other ones like that. Coca-Cola, another good example. We were just talking about it. So TCAF says, making money from both share growth and dividends, learning more about tax and tax law to better gain the system. Yeah. Zal says, my number one reason to invest for dividends is, wait, I don't, but if I did, I would say predictability. Yeah, that's true, because you don't know what direction the share price is going to move. And while dividends are certainly not guaranteed, they are a bit more certain than a desired share price movement. Cami here says, I'm drawn to the tangible quarterly payouts. Yep. Blue Lobster compounding, retire early. Yep. Wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah, Will says it's a great way to save money with a purpose. I completely agree. Yep. Jim says, I like waking up with new money in my account almost every morning. Absolutely. Steve says, favorite thing is the community that you, Russ, and many others have built. Yep, absolutely. That's honestly been one of my favorite things too. You just this is such a niche thing. It's such a small corner of the internet. And we've talked about this plenty of times, but in our own lives, many of us don't actually know people who are into this stuff. So, it's cool to be able to have a place to go, a community like this to be able to talk about this stuff. And I feel so fortunate to be a part of that. And I know I can speak for Russ and many of the others in this community too, like Darth and many of the others in this community. It's whenever we talk, that's one thing we always mention. It's just so cool that we are able to talk to other people who like understand why we like this stuff. So Jack here says the best part is knowing I'm not going to wake up with half my money gone. Can't say the same thing about my crypto a couple years ago. Yeah. Yep. Shamir says my favorite thing is receiving the dividends. Yep, absolutely. Hard to beat. Suzuki Man says, I like not having to rely on a 9-to-5 job for money and listening to a manager. Dude, yeah, that's one of my biggest things too, for sure. And that's the thing, kind of when you're along that journey, when you're going along that journey and still in the accumulation phase, building up your portfolio. It's not like $200 a month or $500 a month or $100 a month you're going to be able to retire off of, but this is why it's good that it's that progress is tangible, because every penny added to your annual dividend income is just like a little bit more of that weight being lifted off your shoulders. I don't know if you guys ever feel that way, but I certainly feel that way. Just every, I don't know, like I was saying earlier, now being able to kind of almost on average have dividend income pay about 20% of my rent, it's not everything. It's not gonna retire, but it's like, it helps a little bit. It kind of does alleviate some pressure, I will say. And also it just kind of makes the glow of the light at the end of the tunnel shine a little bit brighter, in my opinion. The end of the road gets closer. The light at the end of the tunnel gets closer with every penny added to that annual dividend income. So yeah, financial freedom for Amadou. Knowing now some of my bills getting paid by my dividends, right? Yeah. So, Sina says, my favorite part of dividend investing is when the board increases the dividends and seeing the gains and appreciation kick in. Yep. Let's see. Sean here says, I like dividend investing mainly because it's guaranteed income. And I'm sorry, I totally missed this super chat right here. Zotang says, why not just do S&P 500? Do you need income now? No. I mean, you could do the S&P 500. It would be, I guess, just easier to invest in VU, which I do. In my Roth IRA, I've got VU. But as far as income and the growth rate on the S&P 500, the dividend growth rate, I mean, it's not the best compared to some of these individual stocks, and it's not the best compared to something like SCHD as well. So it just, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with investing in the S&P 500, but at the same time, I actually think these are really two unrelated questions, to be honest. But at the same time, I have fun picking individual stocks. It's been fun being able to learn more about how this stuff works, and that's why I do it. Partly why I do it, because I enjoy doing it and because it's become a hobby of mine. So that's kind of why I don't just S&P 500, just VU and nothing else. But yeah, like I said, in my Roth IRA, it's a pretty big chunk of VU. Got some SCHD, got some international exposure, some small cap exposure. So that's kind of more the broad market, kind of the entire stock market over there in that portfolio. And then I use my main portfolio just for mainly individual stocks. And I don't know, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that was a good question. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Oh, that's funny. So growth stocks are bittersweet. I ended up being drawn to them. Call it FOMO, perhaps. I watch financial education and talks growth, value, dividends. So as soon as I saw the honest company in your portfolio, I don't want to spoil it. As soon as I saw the honest company in your portfolio, I that was my first thought. It's he's probably been watching Jeremy. Let's see. Yeah, Justin here says, Ryan, I have a mix. I like the income, but I have some growth stocks as well. Don't think you need to stick to just one path. Yeah, that's true. You don't need to stick to just one path. I know for me personally, my thought about that is, and the reason that I do stick to one path is because I want to make sure that every dollar that I'm investing is going towards my main objective, which is to build my dividend income to replace my active income. So in my mind, and for me personally, and I don't think there's necessarily a wrong way. That's why it's personal finance. But I know for me personally, I want to stick to my main objective, and I don't want to deter from that. So even if that means I am losing out on the potential to see massive gains, like if I were to invest in something like Tesla, right? I'm okay. I'm okay doing that. I'm okay missing out on that. Okay, so Kevin says my next video is about why dividend paying stocks are better. Probably be out tomorrow. I'll be excited to see that. Let's see here. Jim says I've got Berkshire, I should say, for my growth stock, and I consider Apple and Microsoft as growth since their dividend is minuscule. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have Apple. I have Apple in my portfolio. It's done really well in terms of capital appreciation so far. I think my position's up like 35, 36%. I don't know what else I was going to say about that, but yeah, that's cool. Cena says, I think Ryan, you should start a channel with you and maybe 3 others, and I'll talk about dividend talks, just like the channel Millennial Money or JJ and Brad. I agree. I highly agree with that. And I've thought about that before. I'll tell you guys my idea. Someone's going to steal it someday. It's okay. It's a good idea. So my idea is I wanted to do exactly that, or want to do exactly that, where myself and maybe 2 others, probably 2 other people, probably no more than 2 other people, start a channel where we just talk dividend stocks, just get together once a week. We could either do it live stream format or just recorded podcast style, whatever. Excuse me. But once a week, get together, make some content just around dividend investing together. And I don't know what we call it. I have an idea for the name, a couple ideas, but that's not important. But anyway, do that, make content around it. And then at some point, hopefully that channel or whatever that would get monetized. And then we just use that money to build our group portfolio, and then use that money to then expand into other investments, build up a portfolio and some cash or whatever, and just use that to start investing in stocks and possibly real estate and other things like that. I just think that'd be, I think that'd be a really, really cool thing to do. It's just kind of tough the hard part about it is, the difficult thing about it is just scheduling. That's the biggest thing, because everyone's on different schedules. So it's at some point or another, I know it would be difficult to corral the gang. But I really like that idea, Cena, and that's something that I'm keeping in my back pocket. And kind of on that note, in the live chat, if you guys, in the live chat, who would you guys want to see? Like, who do you think would be good for like a dividend investing roundtable sort of channel, like a Millennial Money, but the dividend investing community version of that? What are your thoughts? I'm going to catch up in the comments because I'm about 10 minutes behind. Real quick, Eli says, did you pick up some Williams-Sonoma? No, I have not yet. I have not. I might soon, but I have not done it yet. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Let's see. Keep going. I'm just continuing to scroll down. I'm sorry if I missed some of your guys' comments. Let's see. Okay, Yeos, I see you keep asking this one. Do you recommend investing in the Robinhood high yield savings account? Is that what it is? If you have $5,000 stuck in the bank? I don't really know that I have an opinion on that either way. Let me think about this for a sec. So if you have $5,000 stuck in the bank, it's not generating interest, and it's just kind of sitting there, and it's just going to continue sitting there. Let's say it's like just money that rainy day money, savings money. Then you might as well put it in something like that can generate more interest. But I know me personally, the money that's in my checking account that I use to pay my bills um, that I just need right away and don't want to have to worry about transferring in and out and in and out. I'm keeping that just in the bank. But if it's money that's just going to be sitting there, it's not going to do anything. You have no plans for it for the time being. You might as well generate some interest on that, whether that's through Robinhood or some of the other high yield savings accounts out there. You might as well. I personally use Ally. I started building a travel fund over on Ally there. So let's see here. Let's keep going. Sorry, I'm just continuing to scroll down. I'm now about 5 minutes behind in the chat. I was 10. So Ron says, bring back Darth. Yeah, I was texting Darth today, actually. Yeah, today, and he said something about there's this beer company that he invests in, and he said one of these days I'm gonna have to buy you one of those. Just he won't be here physically in Vegas, but buy you a beer. You go pick it up from this brand or this beer company, and let me know what you think. And I said, well, dude, we should both do that, and then we'll just come hop on the Dividend happy hour and hang out. So maybe not next weekend. Well, yeah, because I'm going to be gone next week, but maybe the week after that we'll do that. Maybe I'll get a group together, and or maybe I'll just hit up Darth or whatever. Maybe I'll get a group together and we could do another kind of group thing. But honestly, guys, like that. Honestly, just going back to the kind of the group thing, the idea that I had, the Dividend roundtable thing. I think the Dividend Happy Hour would be the perfect name for something like that. For like a group channel or a group podcast, we're talking about dividend stocks. I think it's perfect. I think Dividend Happy Hour is the perfect name for it. The other name that I had in mind was the Investment Club. And I'll tell you guys the reasoning behind that. So my dad and his friends for a couple decades now have had an investment club that he just always referred to as the Investment Club. And it's just a group of him and his close friends who get together once a month, and each couple, there's like maybe 5 or 6 different couples in this investment club, and they get together once a month, kind of make a little party out of it, and get together and talk about the portfolio and talk about maybe what they want to do and what they want to add to it, and then they use the portfolio, the funds from the portfolio, and the profits and the income from that. Like I said, they've been doing this for a couple decades now, so it's become a sizable portfolio. And they just use that to go do fun things together and use that to invest even into other things. But it's become a really fun thing for them. So I've always thought that was a really cool thing to do. And so I've when thinking about this roundtable thing, this whole idea I just outlined, I had that in mind. That was kind of the inspiration for it. So I thought that'd be a cool name for it. Let's see here. Jim says 201 people watching. That's worth another shot. No way. No way. Oh, Christian says PPC 100%. Yeah, PPC would never do it. He's a busy guy. Mark's a busy guy too. I've actually never talked to Mark. I shouldn't say whether or not he's busy, but I've never talked to Ian either as well. But I think both those guys would be long shots, and I've never talked to them. So, yeah. Ron says PPC and Darth. Thomas says Professor G and Russ. Justin says the professor, of course. Jim says, why am I saying find single women, Ukrainian women ad while watching my channel? I don't know, man. AJ says Professor G. Jeez, Mountain High says Paul from Everything Money. Yeah. Simple Galaxy says, do the podcast with Graham and Andre. Yeah, I sent both those guys an email. I even sent a carrier pigeon to drop off a letter to both of them, but I haven't heard anything back, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Let's see here. Steven says Dividendology. Yeah, I actually talked to Dividendology not too long ago. I don't remember. I think it was earlier this week. And really nice guy. Really nice guy. So at some point I'll do something with Dividendology. He's cool. I really like him. Steve says Kevin, Darth, PPC, and Russ. That would be awesome. I would be like the fish out of water in that group. I'll tell you what. Um, let's see. Jim says Julie from Tip Ranks. I don't think I've seen her channel. I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Yeah, Mariana says Kevin, Gen X, Darth. I think a mix of age groups. Yeah. Oh, Mountain. Yeah, dude. I agree with you. I miss Andre when he was all in with dividend investing. I started dividends from watching him. Honestly, I'm the same exact way. He was one of the channels that got me into doing this. And every time he puts out a dividend investing video, which isn't often, but whenever he does, those are the only ones that I watch from him these days. But I used to love watching his dividend investing content. It was awesome. Him, his channel, Ian, Russ, Darth. Who else did I used to watch? JJ, Gen X, Dream Green Show. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Dream Green Show with Zeke. Gosh, there's this guy. He doesn't make videos anymore, but he should, because he was awesome. Bruce Wang. I don't know if you guys remember Bruce Wang. Who else? Who else did I used to watch? Or who else got me into this, I should say? Gosh, I know. Oh, Dividend Data, of course. But those were a handful of the channels that those were the handful of channels that got me into dividend investing that I've loved. So, Yayos, man, I don't know if you saw, but I answered your question a few minutes ago. Let's see. Will says, you, Russ, Professor G, good mix of personalities, and also could expand the investing conversation a little with G. Yeah, that's true. Let's see here. OJ says, Kevin, PPC Ian, and Russ. Yep. Sir Dude Broman says, hey, Ryan, can you look at my portfolio sometime? I'd be happy to. I mean, like I said, over on the Patreon for the after party, we do one of those every single week. So, and upon joining that, like there's a form that you fill out for once you join, and it's in the description of all the after party videos. But it's basically a form, just a quick 2-3 minute thing that gives me some info about your portfolio, a link to your portfolio so I can just kind of see what holdings are in there and stuff. And then, yeah, every single week I'm doing a quick portfolio review. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you want me to review your portfolio sometime, that's the place to do it. So Shamir says, have Warren and Charlie. Yeah. Let's see. Jack, yeah, same thing. They're like some small-time investors that have a lot of potential, and that would be a cool podcast. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Thomas, Jake from Dividend Growth Investing, podcast style, since I know he doesn't show his face. Yeah, that's the tough thing, because I'd want to have some video component to it, and I just think it's more fun to have a video component. So, that's the one tough thing about the no face channels. So, yeah. Benny says, a format with you, Russ, and Kevin having conversations about dividend investing. You could also invite other YouTubers from time to time, like the Bowtie Nation guy. Yeah. Joseph Hogue, right? That's his name. He was on the Dividend Talk podcast a while back, and a really good episode. I really enjoyed listening to that. That was like maybe last summer at this point. But yeah, he's got a good channel too. I like him. Let's see. And then maybe with JJ, Dividend Freedom. Yep, JJ's a great guy too. That'd be good. Zal says, if my schedule allowed for it to be a regular thing, I would do it, but I may not be welcome back. I tend to get hyped on the mic. Yeah. Yeah, Adon, if you could make the timing work, it'd be cool to sit down with the guy from New Money. I love that channel. They do a great job. It's cool that they were just they came out to the Berkshire meeting last month or a couple months ago, whenever that was. I saw that I think Seeking Alpha actually sponsored their trip. I could be wrong on that, but looked really cool. And I know I've talked about doing like an in-person sort of meetup before, but that's something on my radar too at this point. I just don't know how to facilitate it, but I'd love to do that at some point. JJ or AJ says Dividend Happy Hour brought to you by Investment Group. Yep, could do that. Let's see here. The Dividend Soiree. Let's keep going here. Yeah. Zal says, Jeremy, I don't know who Gabriel is. And then JC. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Amadou says, why not Professor Ryan Murphy? Ryan Murphy. I don't know if I know Ryan Murphy. Zal says, TipRanks is the same company with Ari. Yeah, Ari's a great dude too. I love Ari. Yeah, Louis says, I love the vibe of Kevin, Russ, and you. Different age ranges and perspectives. I agree. I really enjoyed that. That's why I like talking with both those guys, because they've been doing it a lot longer than I have. They know a lot more about this stuff than I do. And so selfishly, like it would be really cool to be able to talk more regularly with them in this format, because I just would learn so much. And we'd all have a lot of fun too. So yeah, the diplomats. Yeah, we had Lanny on. When was that? That was a couple months ago now. That was a lot of fun. He was cool too. There's just so many. That's the thing, guys. There's just so many great creators in this space. Like I said, I just feel so fortunate to be a part of it. A lot of good people. Sam says, hey, Ryan, what's going on, Sam? Good to see you. Let's see here. Let's see. My man Citizen in the building. Community is growing. Good to see you, man. Mercedes says, joining late, did you hit the 30K mark? I sure did. And we took the shot. Here's the glass to prove it. And once again, over on the after party, which is going to start in about 15 minutes or so, right as soon as this one ends, I'll probably be taking another shot, because I told Jeff, who I don't know if Jeff is still watching this, but I told Jeff I'd do one with him on there because he was going to miss this one. So let's see here. This would be cool. Rob Berger. Yeah, Rob's cool too. I've watched a few of his videos. He seems like a really nice guy. Let's see. Standing on Mountain says, how do you survive Vegas heat? Can you go biking and running in the summer? Do you like Vegas? So the heat so far hasn't been too bad. And I will say, where I'm from in California, I'm from Sacramento, which is in Northern California. It was honestly pretty comparable. It would get to 105, 110 there in the summer, so I was used to the summer heat. Vegas has not been too bad so far. I know it's still early summer, or early in the season, so it's going to get hotter, but it's been nice. It's a drier heat, so to me it doesn't feel as hot. When I was back in Sacramento, I'd walk outside, get in my car. I'd be so sweaty just walking. It was so uncomfortable. But here it's really not been like that. It's hot, but you don't just start getting drenched immediately. Can you go biking and running in the summer? You can, but you'd have to do it in the morning. It'll get too hot, so you'd have to get that done in the morning. But overall, I love Vegas. I love living here in Las Vegas. I wish I would have made the move, years ago now. But I really love being here. I really love living here, and just glad to be here. I'm just happy to be here. My man Mark, what's going on, Mark? How you doing, man? It's good to see you again as well. Let's see here. Christian says, what do you think about investing into a stock every week regardless of price? If you plan on holding for decades, even at all-time highs, would today's price really matter 10, 20, 30 years from now? This is such a good question. I'm actually going to screenshot this. I want to save this question. So I think you're more able to get away with doing that if it's an ETF. than an individual stock. But at the same time, if it's something like a dividend stock, ultimately your goal is to buy it for the cash flow and someday use that cash flow to pay your bills, right? So you're buying it for the cash flow, not necessarily for the price, and so it's like you're still getting a benefit even if you do buy it at a higher price than maybe you should, because you're still getting the same dividend. The argument against it though is it's not that today's price doesn't matter 10, 20, 30 years from now. It's more of a question of, is this the best bang for my buck? Is this the best use of my money? Is buying Costco right now going to be a better use of my money than buying something that's more attractively valued, like Kroger, for example? I wanted to use something that's kind of in a similar space. You're still going to get a dividend from Costco. You buy enough shares of Costco, you'll eventually be able to live off dividends. You buy enough shares of Procter and Gamble, which tends to trade at a premium. Eventually, you'll be able to live off those dividends because you're buying for that cash flow, right? It's just the argument against it, like I said, is it a best use of your money? Is this a good investment, or are there things that are more attractively valued that I could buy, which in theory would be more bang for your buck? So in terms of maximizing your contributions, you won't get it by dollar cost averaging into the same individual stock every single week. But nonetheless, at some point, you'll still reach your end goal. You'll still have enough dividend income at some point to be able to live off dividends and use that to pay your bills, but it might take you longer to get there, and you might have to invest more money to do so if you're buying a stock that continues to go up in price, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. I probably made that a bit more confusing than I had to, and probably missed some things, but let's see. Good question. Really good question. Just see your Liver King comment, Chris. My man, Dividendology in the building. Good to see you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Okay, Zal, you were talking about the guy from Everything Money. Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Oh, ex-Dividend Dad, what's the blue drink? It's just water, and then I've got just a 0-calorie flavor packet in there. It's like I don't know what, it's a Skittles flavor. It's like pineapple, passion fruit pineapple or something like that. It's really good. So, let's see. Brett says drunken dividends. Nah. Oh man, that would be chaotic. That'd be fun. That'd be fun to do like in person, but every once in a while, but nah. That'd be a chaotic thing. Benny said, let's get me to 100 subscribers. Yes, please. Let's do it. I'm so on board with that. Let's see. And guys, just a heads up, we're going to wrap it up here in about 7 minutes or so. But Ron says Golden Knights or Panthers. I don't really follow hockey that closely, and I've never been to a hockey game, but I hear they're a lot of fun, and I'd love to go to a Golden Knights game sometime. So, but they're doing pretty well from what I've heard, right? Like they're in some, I don't know, is it playoffs or something that they're in? So, let's see here. Fabio says, congratulations on hitting 30,000. You definitely should have even more. Well, thank you, Fabio. I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot. That really means a lot. Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Lou says, I grew up in Orangeville, east part of Sac. Nice. So when I was living in Sac, I was just living in Atomis. And originally, Lou, you'll know this. I'm originally from Yuba City, so a little bit north of Sacramento. And actually, funny enough, so in Yuba City is a very, very small town. Someone commented on one of my videos within the last couple of weeks. Actually, it was from last week's Dividend Happy Hour. He commented and said, Did I hear you say you're from Yuba City? That's so crazy. I just moved from Yuba City to Marysville, which is they're like right across the bridge from each other, like pretty much the same town. And then he said, funny enough, though, I actually lived in Vegas for many years, so we pretty much just switched places. Thought that was pretty, small town or small world, as they say. Let's see. Oh yeah, Roland here says, you mentioned you received $100+, but how much are you invested in to receive something like that? So it varies month to month, but I'll show you my portfolio real quick. So if we go over to my portfolio tracking spreadsheet here, let me zoom out. Here's my portfolio value right now, $44,482, and I'm a little bit in the red right now. And just so you know too, this isn't all, like some of this is dividends, some of my cost basis is dividends and stuff like that. So, but as you can see, this portfolio alone brings in $2,061, which every single month on average, we're looking at almost $172 per month. So hopefully this helps you paint a picture of like how much invested to generate this amount of income. Keep in mind though, my yield's a little bit higher. It's 4.63%. And over time, I do estimate that this will go down. I would not be surprised if at some point it dipped into the threes. In fact, that'd probably be better because if the yield gets lower, that means that I'm prioritizing some of the higher growth dividend stocks in my portfolio, like Lowe's or what's another one? Procter & Gamble's not super high growth, but consistent. Or Starbucks high growth, Snap-on high growth. What else? What are some? I mean, Johnson & Johnson really doesn't have a terrible high or 5-year dividend growth CAGR. It's really not that bad, like 6%. So I'll take that. And then as time goes on too, I really don't need to add any more high yielders to my portfolio. I feel pretty good on real estate investment trusts. Don't think I need any more of those. And so moving forward, I'm in this portfolio. I'm really trying to prioritize just some more higher dividend growth stocks. That's kind of why I'm looking more at things like Williams-Sonoma, stuff like that. So. Let's see here. Thomas says, that's a good explanation with regards to dollar cost averaging. Well, thank you. But then the Beagle here has kind of a different take. Don't worry about the price of a good stock if it's for the long term. I first bought Broadcom 11 years ago, bought more along the way, including in March. Look at the gains. And that's true too. Like, it really is true too. It's just still today, it's an opportunity cost. It's the money that I'm Okay. Let me think about how to conceptualize this. I don't know what that face was for, but if you buy a stock today, if it's at let's say Procter and Gamble, right? Could be considered at somewhat of a premium still, but let's say you buy some shares anyway. Screw it, it's Procter and Gamble. It's a good high quality company. It's not the most discounted stock. It's not the best value, but it's a great company. Fine, you buy it today. Yeah, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, you'll make some money on that position likely. Pretty dang likely. And so in that instance, I guess you'll be fine, I guess is the answer. You'll be fine if you do that. But if you want to maximize the dollars that you're allocating, you'll look for ones that are the better bang for your bucks. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple either. That's why it's fine to just DCA dollar cost average into ETFs, because those go up and down for sure, but across a long period of time, it's a good way to go. But even so, if you're doing it with just individual companies, I guess to kind of switch gears in my opinion on it a little bit. Even if the share price continues to go up, I mean, your position will do the same thing. It'll kind of go up smoothly. So you'll be fine. If you want a dollar cost average into, like Russ did it with Pepsi. He bought 100 shares of Pepsi no matter what the cost was, and it's fine. And, ultimately, at the end of the day, you'll still be getting the dividend. So you'll be okay. Let's see. TCG Card Sayer. What ETFs would you recommend for a Roth for the long term? So it's tough to say. I mean, I personally have 80% of my Roth IRA in SCHD and VU, the S&P 500 ETF, and I'm probably just going to rock with that. I'll just keep it simple, just do that. Talking about dollar cost averaging no matter the price. I'm just going to do that, buy that every single week. So I think that's a pretty good way to go. Let's see here. Yeah, Lou said fished there all the time on the Yuba River. Nice. That's cool. Very cool. So yeah, Lou, I grew up in Yuba City pretty much my entire life. That's funny. Laser says, thank you for all your help in getting me started in dividends. Finally made it to the happy hour. Love it. Also, congrats on 30K. I remember when you had 10K. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. I've said it before, guys, but you just never know what these things can grow into. So if you've ever thought about starting a channel or doing anything of this regard, just do it. Just give it a shot. You really never know. Give yourself a timeline. Make it work for you. Make it fit within your schedule. Stick with it for a year, and I think you'd be pretty surprised at how far you can go with it. So, and with that said, too, if any of you guys ever have questions about YouTube or starting a channel or best practices, anything, I love talking about this stuff. You can always send me an email. You can always message me on Discord, which if you're not in the Discord group, what are you doing? There's a link to the Discord group in the description of the video. It's free to join. You just click the link. It'll take you right there. And then if you do that, guys, you'll be taken to the welcome page. Read the rules on the welcome page because it will show you how to access the rest of the channels. But yeah, if you guys ever have questions about YouTube channels or doing anything like this, I'm happy to talk about it. I love seeing people start channels. I love, like I said, I love talking about this stuff. So let's see here. And then we'll do like one or two more questions, guys, because we'll do one more question because we got to get over. We got to get over to the after party, which this is the last time I'll say it, but it's right here. Link in the description if you guys want to join. Free 7-day trial for the Patreon community. It's a lot of fun, and you'll get to see me rip apart Lucas's portfolio in our portfolio review. So, okay, so this is a great question and a good note to end on. I'm also going to screenshot this. And Thomas, I see you asked, how do you do your editing? I do it with Adobe Premiere. That's what I use. So Jeff says, quick question, as a dividend investor, does the share price going up and down matter if the dividend isn't affected? It depends. It depends. It only depends. It only matters depending on why the share price is going down. If the share price is going down for reasons that have to do with poor performance on the business or something inherently wrong with the business, then that's definitely something to look deeper into. But if it's macroeconomic stuff that doesn't really pertain to the fundamentals of the business, or sometimes just the stock market goes down for reasons that don't make sense, if it's something like that, then it's not as much of a concern. And as long as the business is still fundamentally strong, then that's should be okay. But if there's something going inherently wrong with the business, like if we looked at like 3M, for example, going through a huge lawsuit, that's affecting the business in a big way and creates a lot of risk for that business, unfortunately. I say that unfortunately as a shareholder. And so in that instance, you want to look at it a little bit closer and decide, because we talk about dollar cost averaging, buying the dip and lowering your average cost per share. In the case of 3M, as a shareholder, is this a good move for me, considering this pending litigation, this kind of knife hanging over the company's head? That there's still so much uncertainty around. It's tough to say. In that instance, it can matter. So those are just things that you need to ask yourself. And it's probably something that you'll have to chew on for a little bit. So that's kind of the hard part about it. The hard, but also the fun part about investing. That's where it becomes kind of more introspective, and you need to think for yourself what the right move is going to be based on what you think is going to happen. And sometimes it's tough to predict too. So, So anyway, guys, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. Last question, Ryan, any plans on starting options trading? Not any serious plans. Maybe at some point I'll do it, but I don't have any immediate plans to start doing it. So, but really good question. And with that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me this last hour. And once again, thank you so much for all your support on the channel. I'm just really like, if I was wearing socks, they'd be knocked off just in the disbelief of hitting this cool little milestone. And I said it in my community post. In a sense, subscribers doesn't really matter. In a sense, it's just kind of a vanity metric. But I do think it is indicative of our community here growing and more people taking interest in dividend investing, which I think is just an extremely positive thing. I think it's really cool that those of you out there are making a positive decision to better your financial future, and you're doing it through dividend investing. And so I just think that's a really cool thing. And so that's why I'm happy to see that number continue to grow up, or to go up. I mean, just, I don't know. I love to see the community grow. And speaking of which, last thing before I sign off, guys, seriously join the Discord group. It's so cool. We're talking dividend stocks in there 24/7. It's a really great community. There's over 2,000, almost 2,100 members in the Discord group now at this point. Last month, it was like low 1,900 or mid 1,900. So it's really come a long way. So I highly implore you guys to join the Discord. Totally free. Link in the description. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to connect with a lot of great investors as well. If you guys like being a part of this live chat, you'll really like being in the Discord group. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you on Sunday's video. And remember, there is no dividend happy hour next week, so I'll be out of town. But anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll see you next time.